يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا رسول الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وبعد. Dear respected brothers and sisters, inshallah we're going to continue with verse number 168 in Surah Al-Baqarah, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses the entire humanity, and He's talking about His provision and eating from what's halal and what's good and nourishing for us and our bodies. يا أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. It's important to enjoy Allah's blessings on you. One time Al-Hasan al-Basri radiallahu anhu, he was sitting down with a man who's an ascetic. Who's an ascetic means who's trying to stay away from a lot of luxurious lifestyle. He doesn't eat a lot of very tasty food. He doesn't want to go to excess. And then Al-Hasan al-Basri asked him a question. He told him, do you like al-khabis? Al-khabis is a type of sweet. In the past, they used to make sweet with dates and butter. And I know some of people outside of Muslim countries, some of non-Muslims, they don't know what the dates are. Dates basically is a type of fruit that's very sweet. It has a lot of sugar, natural sugar, and it has fiber, very healthy. Muslims eat it. So they make sweet from butter and dates. So Al-Hasan al-Basri one time he offered one of his friends al-khabis to eat. Let's eat a sweet. The man told him, I don't like al-khabis, and I don't like the people who eat it. I don't like this type of sweet, and if you eat it, I don't like you. Because this means you're so luxurious, you're going to excess. You're so excessive in life. فَقَالَ لَهُ الْحَسَنِ. And he said to people sitting around him, he said to him, are you a madman? Have you lost your mind? What are you talking about? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ مَنْ حَرَّمَ زِينَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ وَالطَّيِّبَاتِ مِنَ الرِّزْقِ. Ya akhi, eat. Eat from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. If Allah has given you some of His blessings, eat from it. Who has the ability to forbid what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made lawful for you? Ask, O Prophet, who has forbidden the adornments and the lawful provisions that Allah has brought forth for His servants? قُلْ هِيَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا في الحياة الدنيا خالصة يوم القيامة. Say, O Prophet, the provision of Allah is for the enjoyment of the believers in this world, and it's going to be exclusive for the believers in the Day of Judgment, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those. So Islam, or being an ascetic, or being close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does not ever mean that you don't dress well, you don't smell well, you don't look good. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy food and sweets and good drinks. That's not what Islam is all about. Islam is only against you showing off, or not giving people who are in need, or doing this just to show people that you have more than what they have, or to go to excess in what you're eating or drinking. That's what Islam is against. Or eating, of course, something that is haram for you. What is the reason why that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this ayah in the first place? Because we focus in these episodes in two things, mainly on Arabic language, and number two, on the occasions of revelations. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveal certain ayat? This ayah, eat from what Allah has provided for you, good and lawful for you, it was revealed because some of the disbelievers, they made it haram for themselves to eat some certain types of camels, and they called these camels ما جعل الله من بحيرة ولا وصيلة ولا سائبة ولا حام. ما جعل الله من بحيرة ولا سائبة ولا وصيلة ولا حام. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never legislated something that's called bahira, wasila, sa'iba, and ham. What are these types of animals? Simply, the Arabs, some of the disbelievers before Islam came, if the she-camel gave birth to some certain number of she-camels and camels, male and female camels, they wouldn't use it for labor or transportation and they wouldn't eat it. They would say, because it gives birth to that big number of camels, we're not going to eat it. We're not going to eat it, use it for labor. We're just going to let it eat and drink, and we're not going to eat it. And they made it haram for themselves. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that's not from Islam. Eat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, and enjoy what Allah azza wa jal put on His earth. So that's basically the occasion of the revelation. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us something very interesting, and please pay attention to this. Sometimes if we want to be overly protective, what we do is we come to what's lawful, what's halal, and we make it haram for ourselves just because I want to be careful. Does Allah like this or not? The answer is no, Allah doesn't like this, because being overly strict is not from you, it's from the shaitan. The shaitan is telling you be strict. And when you're too strict on yourself and others, you start to feel at some points, because you're a human, that Islam is too hard. Your family members are going to think you're too strict for no reason, and people around you. What did Rasulullah say about this? The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith in Sahih Muslim, it's an authentic narration. He said while he was delivering the khutbah one time, he was given a khutbah and he said, Ya ayyuhan nas, he's addressing the entire humanity, O people. Ala inna rabbi amarani an u'allimakum mimma jahiltum. My Lord has instructed me to teach you today from some of what He had taught me. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said, كل ما نحلته عبادي فهو حلال لهم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, everything I have granted my servants, the humankind, is halal for them, is permissible for them to use and eat and drink. وَإِنِّي خَلَقْتُ عِبَادِي حُنَفَاءَ كُلَّهُمْ. And I have created all my servants, all humankind, having the natural inclination to worship Allah alone. Everybody has this void inside that he needs to fill in by worshiping something that's higher than him, a higher power, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us Muslims. وَإِنِّي خَلَقْتُ عِبَادِي حُنَفَاءَ كُلَّهُمْ وَإِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ جَاءَتْهُمْ فَاجْتَالَتْهُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِمْ. But the shayateen, the Satans, were able to come and turn them away from my religion. وَحَرَّمَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ ما أحللت لهم. In Sahih Muslim, the Prophet is saying, Allah is saying in a Qudsi hadith, the shaitans, the Satans came to humans and they made what is halal, what is lawful, the shayateen made them haram, impermissible for humans. So this means if you're too strict and you're trying to be even more strict than Rasulullah, you're trying to be more strict than the Sahaba themselves, that's not from Islam. That's only from your own self. Be careful, don't do that. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Do not follow the footsteps of the shaitan. Subhanallah. Why did Allah talk immediately about following the shaitan right after saying eat from what's halal? Because He knows some of us are not going to eat the halal. They're going to make it haram because they are following the shaitan. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. And do not follow the footsteps of shaitan, of Satan. Indeed, he is to you a clear enemy. How does the shaitan deceive us? When do I have to be very careful? When do I have to be careful that the shaitan is now telling me to change my behavior or to do something that's displeasing to Allah? Al-Imam al-Razi rahimahullah ta'ala said there are 3 indications. You have 3 signs. If you see any of these signs, you need to know that shaitan is near you right now. What is the first sign? He said, ash-shahwa. When you have a lust. It could be sexual, it could be physical, it could be financial, it could be mental. Any lust, any very strong desire. When you find when you find yourself needing or wanting something very badly and you can't wait for it. It could be money. It could be marriage, it could be moving somewhere. You need to be careful that the shaitan might be right next to you and he's trying to get you to do something wrong because you need that very much. You can do anything just to get that job. You want to do anything just to marry that woman. You can do anything just to travel outside and never come back. Be careful. So number one is الشهوة. Number two is الغضب. When you're very angry, the shaitan might be right next to you, trying to get you to do something wrong. If you're angry, you know what? A lot of people actually lose their jobs when they're angry because they say something they're not supposed to say. A lot of people divorce their spouses, their wives, because they're too angry. They can't restrain themselves in their tongues. So be careful when the shaitan sees you very angry, he will come to you to make you do something haram. Number three, al-hawa. Al-hawa is your desires, your whims. When you're always so proud of your opinion, if you get into an argument with someone and you sometimes might think that he is right, he has the right, you have signed the contract with him, he is telling you the ayah from the Quran, he is saying the hadith from the Rasulullah, from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but because of your opinion you don't want to change. That's when the shaitan comes to you. So these are three signs that you know that the shaitan is coming. Al-Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, and I'm going to conclude with this. He said there are 6 signs of the shaitan coming to you. Doing too much of one of 6 things. What are these 6 things? And let's conclude with this without further explanation. Ibn al-Qayyim said, number 1, فضول الطعام. When you find yourself eating too much, that's from the shaitan. Number 2, talking too much, that's from the shaitan. Number 3, socializing with people too much. You can make a lot of mistakes. Number 4, looking too much. You can look at haram things. Number 5, listening too much. You can listen to haram things. Number 6, sleeping too much. Sleeping too much. So these are 6 times that the shaitan comes to you. Be aware of these 6 signs that Ibn al-Qayyim mentioned and the other 3 signs that Imam al-Razi mentioned before that. أقول قولي هذا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم إنا خلقناكم